Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Rather than things will just keep turning up day by day. And the vast majority of the world is still oblivious as to why. But it's been a strategic move by the enemy to set up the society this way. The society is totally oblivious to their history, totally oblivious to the foundations that all of these countries worldwide have been set up upon. They've been set up on nothing but lies. And the vast majority of the world wants to believe these lies are true. And as the Most High raises us up to expose these lies, the true spirits of these people is being revealed. See, the vast majority of the world loves to say that they love God and Jesus loves everyone and God is for everybody and wants justice for all, and it's even in our Pledge of Allegiance about justice for all, but just not the real chosen of the Most High. God doesn't believe in, justice for all of them. Doesn't believe in justice for his children. He only believes in justice for everybody else. Because really, once you start to look at history, and you start to look at the events of history, and you start to look at the horrible treatment of the Most High's chosen people, you start to realize that all these churches have been set up to ignore the plight of the Hebrews, of the Israelites. Everything has been set up to hide all of the horrible things that the other nations have done to us. And when some of this information does come out, everyone just discounts it as, oh, well, things happen. Oh, well, that was a long time ago. But see, the Most High said that all things were going to be revealed. And as these things are being revealed, the spirits of the other nations are being revealed as well. See, we're gonna study something right now about how you're gonna see how events have been repeating themselves, and you see the reactions of the people, and you see that you can't be a godly person, say you love God and God loves everybody, all the while you're ignoring the destruction of the Most High's chosen people. And the Most High is revealing the spirits. See, the vast majority of the world, they don't care about the things that we've gone through. The only thing they care about is, hey, when's the next party? Hey, when's the next game? Because that's all that they care about. You see, the Most High is making it so that these parties and games are soon going to come to an end. But let's take a look at some history. See, everything happens for a reason. Nothing is by chance. So the death of Colin Powell, I think, was a pretty big event, this last week or so. But it kind of brought some information back to light, as far as like he was used to go out there and sell the Iraq War, and about whole weapons of mass destruction and how they were there and how we had to go in order to protect ourselves and this and that. We know that there was all alternative motives because they never found any weapons of mass destruction. So we know there must have been some other reasons as to why they wanted to go in there that they were not going to disclose to the public. You see here at the bottom, I kind of looked up, and there's a picture of him, and this one says, the court of God will be waiting for him. And it's like, hey, being used, he was used to go in, and it led to the death of millions of people. But what does our society say about them being wrong about there being weapons of destruction? Well, I'm sure they were guilty of something. So I'm sure it was, I'm sure God will be okay with us going there because I'm sure they were going to do something or they've done something or we were, Saddam Hussein was doing all these horrible things to the people. So we went in there for that too. They always try to play down their mistakes. But see, their mistakes caused the deaths of millions of people. And you don't think that there's going to be judgment for that? But see, this is something that's been going on where, people make mistakes here in this country and they just, no big deal. It's okay. It's just a mistake. It's just a few million people. No big deal. Right? That's exactly what the Native Americans? Yeah, you know what? They were pagans. So it was okay for us to go ahead and go in and steal all their land. No big deal. Yeah, we broke all of the treaties. No big deal. And people go to church and say, God bless America. God, it's like, hold on. Look at all of the death and destruction that has been brought at the hands of these people. And you don't think there's going to ever be any judgment? And see, now that there's starting to be some judgment coming on the nation, people are like, why are these things happening? We've lost our way. Now we've lost our way. So now God's judging us because we were a godly nation before, but now we've lost our way. You see the total hypocrisy. They ignore all of the things that they've done in history, all of the hundreds of millions of lives that they've taken, and and a lot of times it's a bunch of lies. The Native Americans, they wanted us to come over here and destroy them or give them society, because they were just really backwards people. So we had to come in here and take over and show them how to really live, how to use their lands. You see, and all these things that have been done, in secrecy. So that people can still think they can go to church and that when they're going and they're praying to God, say, oh, God loves everybody. Did he love all the millions of people that were killed in Iraq for lies? Did he love all of the Native Americans that were killed so that you could steal their land? Did he love all the slaves that people you put in slavery and destroyed? Did he love all the women and children and men that you raped, while you were enjoying your blessings? Did he love the fact that you worked them to death in mines and on the fields? Did the Most High love those people too? According to you, he didn't love those people. He only loves you guys who have been doing all the killing, raping, robbing, and murdering. And that those other people don't deserve justice. Now, like I said, the death of Colin Powell just brought up the whole Iraq thing and how they sold, going into Iraq and how that was, we had to do this. We had to do this. Well, you're going to realize that these kinds of things have been going on and that they've been hiding this information as well. They've been doing that they did that to our people thousands of years ago. And it's history that's been hidden, but it's going to be coming out some today. My brother Fred sent me this, and it's just, he sent me this week. So, all these different things were all coming together, and it was all connecting yesterday when I was kind of going over what we're going to do a video on today, and all this information I was reading, Colin Powell's death, and my brother Fred sent me this right here. It says, when the elite government raided Iraq in 2005 under George Bush Jr. administration, it wasn't because no weapon of mass destruction. It's because Saddam Hussein had access to a portal. Plus, he had hidden this Black Anunnaki King avatar from the New World Order. He also had many spacecrafts he discovered hidden beneath the caves of Iran. Now, is this true? Hey, we don't know. People can put anything on social media, but we know that the real reason as to why they went in there, we don't know. We know that the reasons they came up with wasn't true. But their aims and the things that they wanted to accomplish, they went ahead and did that. They did their thing. They got what they wanted. They wanted to get in that country, and that's exactly what they did. What they found, they're not going to tell us. And their true reason as to why they did those things, we'll never know. But the Most High said he's going to give us understanding. He's going to bring all these things to light. Now, see, they set up all these churches, and he said, when you go to church on Sunday, these Christians and whatever else, Catholics, and that's the whole thing when these people go into these churches, and they thinking it's, it's all about love and Love. It's all, everything's about love. God loves everybody. We love everybody. It's love, brother. Love, love. Just love. But you are supporting a country and a people that have been nothing but hateful and bring nothing but death and destruction. You're praising a people. That's what they use Jesus for, as justification to bring death and destruction to the Aborigines here, to the Aborigines worldwide, to the Aborigines over in Europe and Ireland and Britain. And it also, not only did they destroy the original inhabitants of all those lands, they hid all their history. They hid all of the history. So you can go to church and believe that you're worshiping God when you're doing the thing that you're doing. When you go to church on Sunday and you're giving Satan that energy, you'll believe that you're supporting a loving God. But look at the history. Look at the events even of today. You shoot our people down in the streets, and you don't care. Oh, I'm sure they had a reason for that. I'm sure there was a reason why they did that. If you would have listened to those police officers, you would have been fine. Nothing would have happened to you. You'll justify the death and destruction of the Israelites in your mind because you don't want to deal with reality. You don't want to deal with the fact that these people have been treated horribly, and as of this day, they have not received their recompense. But it's coming. The Father is coming, and He's bringing judgment with Him. And people don't want to see that. They don't want to believe that could possibly be true, because the churches teach nothing but love. It's all about love, 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 love. We love everybody. They love everyone on their terms. As long as you believe in white Jesus and you believe in the power of the Pope, you believe in the power of the priests, you believe the power of the pastors, you're all good. But as soon as you start to question, oh, hold on, this doesn't seem right. The events or the things that these people are doing and they're getting away with, this doesn't make any sense. Well, we're going to find out why. You got to understand that we did a video a while ago about how, the priests have been able to do all these horrible things to all these children and the nuns and everything else, and they never have to pay for it. Why is that? Because they made a deal with Satan. And we're going to get into this actually right here in this book, because, it wasn't just these priests that made a deal with Satan. Also, England made a deal with Satan as well. And you're going to see why. You're going to see how when this happened. Because Off-Grid Desert Prepper, like I told you, all these videos, all these things all come out at the same time and all just start to connect. He came out with a video, and I'm going to share a little bit of it later on, talking about the royal family and the things that they do behind closed doors. And it connected perfectly with what we're going to study today. Because they've also made a deal with Satan. They've been able to do all these things, illegal things, and get away with it. Why is that? Because they made a deal with Satan as well. But this deal was made thousands of years ago, or hundreds of years ago, when they came together to take down the Israelites in Ireland. But see, this is history that is hidden. You just wonder, we see the effects. We see of well, hold on, how is these pastors can get away with, having sex with kids and they don't have to pay for stuff. How is it they're getting away with this? How are these priests getting away with it? How is it England's doing all these things? Well, this all goes back to hidden history. And the Most High is bringing it out. And as He brings these things out and people see this information, now you have a choice. Are you going to continue with the satanic lies? Or are you going to embrace the truth? Are you going to embrace the truth or keep on with the lies? Let's check this stuff out now, because it's a mind-blowing information right here. Irish Wisdom, okay? Page 57. We're going to start here at the bottom, okay? Well, let's talk about a lot of it. Well, you can read the stuff on the top on your own, but well, read a little bit of it. The section of the country which was ravaged and laid bare might easily have had at that time a population of 200,000 souls. History records that Oliver Cromwell ravaged the same district 70 years later and left it so bare that he has reported as saying that if a crow ate while flying over it, he would have to bring his food with him. After the Cromwellian massacres, the population of the island was at a low ebb, said to have been 850,000 only. It is a safe estimate to say that in former times, the population was from 8 to 10 million, if not more, for it was a religious axiom with the people, be ye fruitful and multiply. Now, this is what happened before they got to the Americas. This is history that is hidden. This is history that's not talked about. What they were doing to the Israelites over there. What they were doing to the southern kingdom. See, we get to, in the Bible, you get to 70 AD, and then that's it. You don't get any more information. You don't get any more information on what the Gentiles were doing to the Israelites. That's all just left open for them just to tell you the truth. And you think the Gentiles are going to, display all these records and this information publicly? Hell no. They're going to keep all that stuff secret because they want to say that they're all about love, love, love. And people going to the church want to believe that it's all about love, love, love. But then you start bringing up this information, and it's like, well, it's okay. Hey, people make mistakes. They're human too. The Pope and the priest, they're all human. See? Before you were talking about how they're the representatives of God, and you got to listen to everything they say. But once you start bringing out the truth and the things that they were responsible for, then you start making excuses for them. That shows your hypocrisy. That shows how you will not hold them to a higher standard. If they're supposed to be godly people, shouldn't they be held to a godly standard? Shouldn't they be, displaying love to the people? But as you see here, it's been nothing but destruction. It says one of the adjuncts considered necessary by the British hierarchy, acting for Rome. See, that's what Britain, those white Brits here are acting for Rome, okay? To make Henry's expedition a success and to build up a false history which would serve the interests of the church and the English government for future generations, was a publicity bureau. It was established to assist in carrying out the papal policy, not only of destroying the Irish church and nation, but also to put into effect a well thought out plan. Now, see, this is what they do. On top of the destruction, they got to come up with a whole plan of how they're going to publicize the things that they're doing, how they're going to twist the horrible things that they're doing, and how they're going to present it to the public. And then it talks about that, and I have to do another video about how they didn't let the vast majority of the public know the horrible things they were doing to the Israelites in Ireland. And the reason as to why they went into Ireland in the first place. They were at peace with England at that time. Okay? England and Ireland were at peace. So how are they going to justify going in and massacring them to a country that, they've been at peace with? And that's what this whole publicity bureau is about. Now, think about when we've gone into, and this country's done the same thing to other countries. Like they have to demonize them before they go in. To all the horrible things that they're doing before they have to go in, how they have to liberate the people because of all the horrible things that's been going on. This has been going on for hundreds of years. So when they do it now, it's the same playbook. It just follows history. Now you got to look, who were they doing these things to back then? Who do you think they're doing these things to now? When they did the same thing when they did to the natives. They did this to the Israelites, they called them Irish. They did it to the Israelites over here in the Americas, they just called them Indians and savages. And then the churches get their playbook and they go out there and they sell it to the people about how godly their expedition is. Let's continue. It was worthy of the original bishop, whom Machiavelli had in mind for his diplomatic model, to vilify them before all mankind and posterity. See, that's the thing. You got to vilify them. See, our people have been vilified worldwide. We're vilified today. That's why they can shoot us down in the streets and no one cares. They care about the ones who actually have shot us. Hey, the cops need to make sure they go home to their people. So it's okay if they kill yours. They got to go home to their families. So therefore, it doesn't matter what they do to you. You need to make sure you're listening. They vilified our people back then. They vilified the Irish people, as they call them. They vilified the natives, and they vilify us today. Same thing. Now check this out. Rome had then, as she has today, in her ranks men of all grades of conscience and versatility, some of whom she could always find fit to carry out her ends, however vile they might be. Exactly. Okay. The old man of the mountain had his faithful adherents and his emissaries likewise. A priest known in history as Giraldus Cambrensis was duly appointed to do this dastardly work, and it is mainly due to the false and slanderous writings and fictitious alibis set up in his Vactinal History and in his work entitled The Conquest of Ireland that a documentary foundation of history composed of willful and vicious falsehoods was laid down. The British writers have ever since made use of it. So you see how the church and Britain back then were working together against the Irish, against the Celtics, against the Black Celts. Okay? It's all been working together. See, they made that deal with Satan, the deal with the devil. And now you're seeing the fruits of that when you've seen all these stories coming about all the death and destruction they've been responsible for, and they haven't had to pay for. You see how the royal family, if you go watch the video that he shared, we'll talk about that later on, you'll hear about the things that was, that they've been responsible for and they haven't had to pay for. You'll see why. And that all goes back to this. How they came together against the Israelites. They did the bidding of Satan. And now they've been reaping the rewards for these last few hundred years. Okay? Herodotus' fables are supported as it was arranged that they should be by another setup who was called Jocelyn. Thus did the Knavish priest furnish a false documentary history of Ireland, from which both material and ideas have since been taken to traduce her. And especially during this last century, where they industriously circulated abroad through British propaganda. That his slanders are discredited today is not the fault of his sponsors, but it shows the base vileness and dishonesty of the Roman and British propagandists. A British cleric writer in the Encyclopedia Britannica, Art Ireland, frankly admits that in spite of the enormities and filthiness which Herodotus says defiled the Irish church, nothing worse could be found than marriages within the prohibited degrees and trifling irregularities about baptism. So it becomes very clear that the invasion of Ireland by Henry II was a plot instigated by the Roman Church. For if she had been established in Ireland before that event, her discipline alone would have been enough to correct any such trifling abuses, if any such existed. To correct such trifling abuses would not be a cause for a war involving an invasion of the country, incited by a church, whose mission is professedly peace on earth and goodwill towards men. Exactly. Now, if that's been your mission as a church, peace on earth and goodwill towards men, you wouldn't be so hell-bent on war. Is that not true today? You supposedly have all these are Christian nations, but these Christian nations have been going into all these different countries and killing, raping, robbing, murdering, and hiding history and hiding events. So you got the propagandist arms of these organizations, and a lot of times they come from the churches. They get their marching orders and they go out there and they tell all these lies to the people, and the people don't think for themselves. And they go to church on Sunday and they hear a good sermon, but they don't hear about the history. They don't hear about the true history. And those churches are going to be taken down by the Most High. There's going to be judgment on these churches for the things that they've done, and the people who attend these churches, because you've been supporting them. Ignorance now is a choice. There's plenty of information out here that's now showing what these churches have been responsible for and how they're being used. And because many people don't want to listen or don't want to research or don't want to follow the Most High and don't want to have to possibly change, they just ignore all this information, and you ignore it to your own peril. So again, to correct such trifling abuses would not be a cause for a war involving an invasion of the country, and cited by a church whose mission is professedly peace on earth and goodwill towards men. It is one of the most glaring and barefaced falsehoods ever invented. And they expected too much when they supposed that a fiction, which was believed in an ignorant age, would also continue to be believed in an enlightened one. See, back then, hey, people, when in certain times, they want these fictions to be believed. But as the light comes to the world, then you're going to see the truth. Okay? It says the Irish nation was made the victim of a foul conspiracy of the Roman Church and England. She has been most terribly crucified between two thieves. And it is time for the best element among the English people to correct this great wrong. Well, it's going to be the best element of the Most High's chosen people that's going to correct this wrong. People are going to hear this history and hear the truth and have to make a choice to continue to support Satan and his church and his propagandist arms, or embrace the truth, no matter where that leads you. It says, by such falsehoods, British priests and writers have endeavored to cast discredit upon Ireland's history in order to minimize any interest which might otherwise be shown by students of research, and so that no investigation or research could be made which might lead to damaging discoveries. And see, that's the thing. They don't want people to do any kind of research. That's why they make these books so expensive. That's why they make these topics like taboo. Just don't even worry about it. Hey, don't worry about it. We're going to tell you the history, and that's all you need to know, because they don't want you to discover, the horrible things that they've been doing. That's why history is so important. Now you understand why. Hey, don't read those other books. Hey, we gave you these 66 books. Be happy with that. That's all there is. Don't start looking at these other books. Don't start looking at the second stick. Don't start looking at that's the Mormons book. The Book of Mormon, those are for the old white people. Oh, the Bible, that's for the Spanish white people. Oh, you black people, you guys don't have a history. You guys have been nothing but slaves. So just listen to us and we'll tell you how to. Oh, don't look at history. Don't worry about that. We'll tell you about the history. Don't worry about us. We wouldn't lie to you. We would tell you. We'll always tell you the truth, and we're just open for full disclosure. Yeah, okay. You start to see how much of a lie this is, and how they set up all these things so that you would never never do any research, and you won't discover anything. And then, but what did the Most High say? He conceals a thing. The Most High conceals a thing. So he allows them to conceal this information, and then he uses the kings to bring it out. So you can see the spirit. You can see who the Most High is really dealing with and who he's not dealing with. You can see the difference. And as of today, I'm sure you can easily see the difference between people who are all about hiding information and people who are all about actually bringing out the truth. You can easily see the ones who are down with Satan's program and the ones who have been used to bring out the truth. You can see the difference. It's evident. It's right in front of your face. You can see light and darkness. The darkness you're going to see is it's going to lead you to ignorance and lead you to complacency. And look at society right now. Is it not all about complacency? Oh man, just hey, just get things back to normal. Let's just get things back to the way it was. See, normal for them is us at the bottom. Normal for them is them being able to just destroy us, kill us, and just, hey, no big deal. No big deal. That's normal for them. God loves everybody, but he doesn't love those niggas though. And they don't care. As long as they get their normal. They'll sacrifice us. They'll sacrifice us as God's chosen people for them to have normal. Because there's no skin, they have no skin in the game. But see, all of a sudden now that society is going upside down and now things are affecting them, now there's problems. Now that they can't go out and do all the things that they want to do, now there's problems. But when it was just us, they didn't care. Now they're like, hey, we need to come together as a people. We can't, our freedoms are being trampled on. Our freedoms the Most High's chosen people has never had any freedoms. Most High's chosen people have been destroyed this whole time, and you haven't cared. But now that it's happening to you, now you want to come together. It's not going to work like that. Let's continue. I'm going to read that part one more time. By such falsehoods, British priests and writers have endeavored to cast discredit upon Ireland's history in order to minimize any interest which might otherwise be shown by students of research, and so that no investigation or research could be made, which might lead to damaging discoveries. And they don't want any damaging discoveries. Hey, don't open that book. Damn it, we already told you, don't open that book. Don't look there. You're going to find some information that's going to put us in a negative light, and we don't want that. So damn it, those books are off limits. We have not approved, the papacy has not approved those. God's mouthpiece has not approved those. So don't look at that. You see, I mean, you see the world. You see how it is now. But just wait. It gets better. There's more information. It says, besides, it was intended to dampen and discourage any interest which the Irish might arouse in foreign countries toward winning moral or material aid in realizing their national independence. And I said they don't want people to realize, hey, maybe we should be supporting the Irish. I said they're doing all these horrible things to them. I said, and same thing with the natives. I mean, you just see it's a playbook that's been going on again and again. They demonize the Aborigines. Oh, they were just, all about sacrificing people. They were just killing people. We had to come in and we had to stop that. Can we even believe that's true? Can we even believe that? Or was that just another ploy to justify the heinous things they were going to do to us? It says, it is mainly from British sources that people in general, even in so-called enlightened countries, have gleaned their very limited knowledge of the Irish people or of their history. Now, let's look at that. To the victor goes the spoils, right? So, hey, we went in, the British were like, hey, we went in and we destroyed your people. And the only history that people are going to get about it is the history that we write about you. So do you think that history is going to be truthful? We're the ones that went in and destroyed your country. We were the ones that were used by the Roman Catholic Church to go in and destroy your country. And we got promised that we were going to be getting all this money and everything else. You think we're going to tell the true history? We're going to tell your history? You think we're going to tell people, the world, that you were the chosen people of the Most High? You think we're going to tell people that? Or do you think we're going to make up a totally bogus, false, fake history? I'm sure you guys all know the answer to that. And fast forward to now. Same thing going on. Well, what happened in 2005 with Colin Powell? You had to vilify the people in order to be able to go in and do all the things you wanted to do. You see that? It follows the same, and then they get to write the history because they went in and destroyed everything, so they get to go ahead and they get to go in and do the history. And then when things don't work out the way they said, oh, we're sorry. Yeah, we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. Hey, our bad, our mistake. But what about the millions of people that, things happen. Mistakes happen. But millions of people died. Yeah, well, they weren't American, so what does it matter? You see, and you don't think the Most High is going to punish the people who have been responsible for this, or the people who condone it, the people who just turn the other cheek, the people who look the other way. You don't think there's going to be recompense for them as well? I'm sure there is. So again, let's read that part again because that's really important, okay? It is mainly from British sources that people in general, even in so-called enlightened countries, have gleaned their very limited knowledge of the Irish people or of their history, and formed their impressions based on meager and distorted information. You see that? Very little information. That's all about the Satan. Give very little information, and then their people are the ones that interpret the information. They're the ones that approve what information you get. Also, you can continue to live the lie. It says, the British press is most devotedly engaged in the same effort in our own day. And according to published information, quite a few of the publishers of our own country have been subsidized to misrepresent things Irish, while the British government has allowed its trained forces to commit barbarities against unoffending citizens in Ireland. But the people of Irish race, wherever they have cast their lot, by their capacity and wonderful achievements in all lands, have demonstrated the falsity of those slanders. And that's it. I mean, think of it though. What group of people are they going to go to this extent to hide? To what kind of people are they going? I mean, that's some serious hatred that you're going to. I mean, these people have achieved all these great things. They passed all this information knowledge to all these different places, and you just erase them out of history. You've erased all their accomplishments out of history. Now, when you go to the book, the movie 300, all right, and the king of Syria is talking to Leonidas, and he's like, all you gotta do is just kneel before me, and you're gonna be a king, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. And he says, no, you slaughtered all those people today, made it so it's gonna be kind of hard for me to, take a knee. So I'm not taking a knee today. And he's like, oh, I'm going to, erase the very knowledge of you out of the history books. And if anybody even mentions your name, I'm gonna have their tongues cut out. I mean, that's this kind of stuff right here. I mean, this is like gangster right here. This is just taking everything and hiding everything. What kind of people would they do that to? See, Psalms 83 tells you exactly the people that they're going to do this to. It wasn't just, that's why when you read these books, you have to know the Bible. You need to know the other books. You need to know the second stick. Because once you know those things, then when you start reading these history books, you realize, okay, why would they do this to these white Irish? They wouldn't do that to them. They're going to do this. They said in the Bible, it says it's going to happen to the Most High's chosen people. Psalms 83. And 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. These people hate us. They hate what we represent. They hate that we are the Most High's chosen people, that we are the sons and daughters of the Most High. They hate that. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They did this to the Israelites, no other people. This is an Israelite book. This is showing the works of the enemy against the Israelites. They went in, destroyed our country, destroyed our history, and gave us a fake and false one, and gave our achievements to another people. And they don't even talk about the white Irish as them being the ones who have, built up the society and done all these great things. They hide all that. So we know it wasn't them. So who was this great society that they were, that the Roman Church wanted to take down so they could replace? That's what the Roman churches wanted to do. Satan said, I'm going to be like God, right? So he sees God's chosen people here. And he sees how great and wonderful they are and how they've been, able to spread all this knowledge worldwide. Satan's like, I want that. He sees that covetousness. He wants that. That was his aim for hundreds of years. He tried to go behind, the backs and instigate people to come in and attack the Israelites in Ireland. And he got the British here to go ahead and do his work, to do Satan's work. So yeah, you guys go in there. You guys destroy them. I said, you guys go in there and destroy them, and we can have all the spoils together. That's what's going on right here. That's what you're seeing right here. Let's get another one real fast. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. We'll start at 13. Actually, let's start at 12. No, let's start at 11. These are what the Satanists say behind closed doors. This is what they talk about, how they talk about us. And you see them playing these things out in these books, in these history books. It says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So they make the laws. The Satanists make the laws. Their strength is in these laws that they set up for themselves and against us. Okay? Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean, contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us, with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy and transgressings of our education. And and we stand up and we tell him the things that he's doing wrong, and he hates that. The Satanists hate that. That we are, our presence makes them uncomfortable. Our presence alone, damns them and shames them. Okay? 13. He professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. And see, now you get the Irish who have set up all this great information worldwide, sharing all this information. Why? Because we are the sons and daughters of the living power. And the Most High gave us this information to share in order to have the world follow the Most High. And Satan doesn't want that. And so the Most High gave this to his people, does not understand to his people. So there would be a people that was going to be spreading all this light to the world. And Satan didn't want that. So he wanted to replace the children of the Most High with the powers of Satan. And their job was to spread darkness and ignorance worldwide. The opposite of what the Most High wanted. Okay? 14, he was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways, as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and make his boast that God is his Father. And that's it. The Most High is our Father. They hate that. We abstain from the ways of the Gentiles and the heathens. And this hurts them. This upsets them. This enrages them. Okay? So 17, this is what they've been doing in these books here. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the sons of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine, and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold on his side do find it. People who following Satan are going to find death. They're going to have to pay for these things that were done to the Most High's chosen people. We are the ones that fit the destruction that's going on in this book. We are the ones that fit the hiding of history, hiding of truth, because that's what they said they were going to do to the Israelites. Now, let's take a look at this middle section. This is really important, okay? This shows you like how evil these people are. Heraldus admitted, as he himself tells, and is published by his English translator and publisher, that where people of his day who knew the facts laughed and scoffed at the absurd things he wrote. They knew he was lying, and they were just laughing at the stuff he was saying. Okay? People of future generations would not know the truth and would not be able to scoff, he said. And see, they knew that the truth was going to be hidden. So they're going to read the stuff he was saying, and they were going to believe it because there was not going to be an alternative. And he knew this. So people of today laugh at these things because they know the facts. But people of future generations will not know, and therefore they will accept them as true history. Thus, we see the vileness of a degenerate Roman priesthood employed in inventing falsehoods in order to slander the Irish church and nation. They're admitting it right there. We know there's a bunch of lies. We know the people now will know the truth, but the people in the future won't, and they'll believe that this is true history. You don't think that's what they've been doing even now? With the histories they've been talking about? The histories they've made up? If they were able to continue, that they would make up these fake histories, but people in the future wouldn't know the truth, and they would believe whatever it is that they read in these books that was approved by the publishing houses and by the churches and by the countries. Now, today's church believes the lies that they've been told because, hey, they've been set up to keep people in darkness and ignorance. Now, this is the video from the off-grid desert prepper, and it's like, the most horrifying video you will ever watch about the royal family. You can go there and check it out. It's pretty interesting, the video that he shares. But now you understand why they're able to do all these horrible things and get away with it, because they came together and worked together against the Israelites, and Satan rewarded them with being able to do all these horrible things and get away with it, just like he did with the Catholic priests, because they do the bidding of Satan and they get away with doing all these horrible things. Nuns as well. You see this? So if you know the history, now you see why the things happen as they do today. But you got the churches that have been set up, and they think that they are being persecuted, and that right now they have to make a decision about things that are going on in society, and the so-called mark of the beast, and that now if they make a positive choice, that they're going to go to heaven because they're siding with their God and everything else. So they set up people to do videos to make them feel like, hey, you're a good Christian, and this and that, and they want them to feel good, but they don't know their history. If you're not teaching the history of your organization, then you're lying to the people. And it's funny because I'm going to say, this part isn't funny, but something's going to happen in the future here. I'm going to show you guys. Rapist pastor gets no jail time. No prison for rapist pastor. Now you're seeing why. These are Satan's houses, and they're getting away with doing these kinds of things, and nothing happens to them. How many stories have you heard about this? Now you're seeing why. Because they're the houses of Satan, and they made a deal with Satan to deceive the people, push ignorance, push darkness, and they get away with it. And now you saw the history of what they did to the so-called Irish, which were really the Israelites. And they're still reaping the benefits all the way till today. It's crazy how it all starts to connect, how it all starts to make sense. And see, I've seen them pushing this guy. I'm sure you guys have seen his guy's channel. And it's like, we start bringing out information, and I feel like it's more like a counter to the Israelite movement. They got to get somebody that looks like us out there to make them feel okay with their doctrine. Just, they find a black man and they just kind of throw him out there, and he's still pushing the same Jesus Christ and believe in Jesus and the church and the rapture, and and how the things that are going on right now with the cure is the mark of the beast, and and this and that. Still pushing the same doctrine, just a different face, and they've done this the entire time. But I thought that the title of the video was pretty funny. That's why I wanted to kind of share it. The chiseled chosen are here. The mark was foretold. We are the spiritual peg of the kingdom. Now, chiseled, chosen, I'm assuming you must think in like the church, and these Christians, are the chosen and the elect, and what they've gone through certain things, and you see like, okay, you guys have been the ones who have been used to destroy the chosen people. How do you now get to see? That's all part of that, them going in and taking over Israel, them going in and replacement theology. You guys haven't gone through anything like our people have. The Israelites haven't gone anywhere. They've been going through their cursing. They've been going through their destruction. So as we've been going through our destruction, and the fact that these organizations, these churches, and colleges and everything else in society has hidden who we are, you just found someone to take over our position. But no one's taken over our spot. where are the Israelites? We are the ones that have gone through all of this death, destruction. We've had our history hidden. We've had our history taken away from us. And what you can see with replacement theology, it's not just the Israelites that have been taken over. All of our places of worship, all of our temples, all of our ley lines, all of our all these different places, um, all our power points have been taken over and given to other nations. So replacement theology is that's one part of it, but we've been replaced worldwide. Our sacred places of power have been taken and given to others as well. So I just thought this was funny because it's like, hey, you guys haven't gone through anything yet. So you guys thinking that, you have to make a choice between, the cure and not taking the cure. And that's your, that's the rough times you've gone through. No, we've been massacred as a people. We've had everything taken away from us and given to others. And you think that you guys are just going to just waltz on in and just say Jesus and you guys take our spots? Hell no. It says that Israel has gone through the most. So you Christians are not going to replace us. Daniel 9:11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. The curses of Deuteronomy 28 were poured upon the Israelites. We've been under this cursing this entire time. So as we've gone through our curses, everyone has been taking this piecemealing our heritage. These people want to act like Christians want to act like they are now the sons and daughters of the living God without going through any kind of punishment. The other nations have taken our lands and taken our sacred spots and made it seem as if they've always been there. They want to make it seem as if the Greeks and the Asians were the ones who, were the bastions of society, and that we got all of our science and knowledge and philosophy and math from them, when it all came from the Israelites. So them taking over, and replacing us with replacement theology, it's much bigger than just us being the chosen people. But see, now you got these churches who want to believe that, hey, if I make the right decision right now and not take the mark of the beast, and I'm good. But see, but listen to who's telling you this. These satanic churches who have made a deal with Satan. Do you think they're going to tell you the truth on how the Most High wants you to come to him? You're not going to come to the Most High on your terms. He says you're going to either bless Israel or you're going to curse Israel. And with the blessings come blessings for you. With the cursings come cursings for you. So now you see how the other nations, especially like Britain and the church, have gone out of their way to hide who real Israel is. Now you got an example of how they did it. You got an example of how they hid us and how they were compensated by Satan for doing this. You think they're going to tell you the truth on how to find your way back to the Father? You'll bless Israel, you will be blessed. If you curse Israel, you will be cursed. If you don't realize who Israel is and you're just cursing them and just ignoring all of their plight, then you just know what's coming for you. If you've received our holy places and you think that those are all yours before, when they even admit that they're not, that lets you know a little something as well of what's coming. Now you're seeing why destruction is coming worldwide, because of the destruction that happened to our people and the fact that the rest of the world is just turning a blind eye and ignoring us. And it's not going to be able to happen for much longer. I pray that this was a very enlightening video and you're able to see how the world has been confederate against us all this time, and how the Most High is bringing truth to light. And now people are about to have to make a decision. All praise is to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement Yahushai. Shalom.